Welcome back to English Unfiltered, the podcast where we explore real conversations in English. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. And today we're diving into, well, a really frustrating phenomenon.
Oh, yeah. Like, picture this. You are sitting in a cafe, right? Mm-hmm. And you've just watched this super complex 2-hour film. No subtitles.
Right. You understood every single word.
Exactly. But then, the barista asks you a completely simple question, like, room for cream. And suddenly your brain just completely flatlines.
Total deer in the headlights moment.
Yes. Why does our active speaking just short circuit like that when our passive listening is so flawless? So today we're figuring out the mechanics behind this silent panic.
Right, because it really is a universal frustration, To understand it, we basically have to look at how the brain handles recognition versus production.
Okay, so passive versus active.
Exactly. When you're watching that movie or just listening to someone speak, you're relying entirely on passive recognition. Your brain is this highly efficient pattern matching machine.
So it feels super effortless.
Yeah, it really does. But speaking demands spontaneous production. You aren't just recognizing words anymore. You are actually building sentences from scratch in real time.
Okay, so it's a lot like music. I mean, passive understanding is basically like recognizing your favorite song on the radio.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, like you know every beat. You know exactly what's coming next. But active speaking is like someone suddenly pointing to a piano and saying, hey, play that song for me right now.
That analogy actually works perfectly. But we can even take it a step further to explain the breakdown.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, imagine someone asking you to play that song on the piano, right? But while you're desperately searching for the right keys, they're standing there tapping their foot and just staring at you.
Oh, wow. Just the thought of that makes me stressed.
Right. It's not even that you don't know the chords, it's the pressure of them waiting that literally makes your hands forget how to move. Linguists actually refer to the mechanical side of this as translation delay.
Wait. Translation delay. But if it's just a mechanical delay, shouldn't it get easier as your vocabulary gets bigger?
You would think so, yeah.
Because, I know people who have studied a language for 10 years, and they still freeze up when put on the spot with a basic question.
Yeah, that's because it isn't actually a vocabulary issue at all. It's a working memory issue.
A working memory issue? How does that work?
Well, when you're put on the spot, you aren't just doing one single thing. Think about it. You're listening to the question, you're translating it into your native language, formulating your response, translating that back.
Like trying to actually pronounce it correctly.
Exactly. And planning all those physical mouth movements, all of that is happening instantly. So your brain's working memory buffer basically just maxes out.
So it's a complete cognitive system overload.
100%. The system just crashes.
But, okay, cognitive overload doesn't fully explain why this only happens with other people, right?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't freeze up when I'm just practicing sentences alone in the mirror. There has to be some sort of social variable going on here, too.
Oh, there absolutely is. And that is kind of the missing link here. The human brain is totally wired for social connection.
Right. We want to belong.
Exactly. So it interprets an awkward pause in a conversation not just as a normal delay, but actually as a physical threat.
Wait, seriously? A physical threat?
Yeah. When someone is just waiting for your answer, the pressure to keep the conversational rhythm going triggers this mild fight or flight response. Your brain literally panics.
Oh my gosh, which leads perfectly into that brutal overthinking loop. You're just standing there thinking, I know this word, so why on earth can't I say it?
Yeah, the silent panic.
And you know what the wildest side effect of this intense self-monitoring is? It's how your actual personality just seems to shrink.
Oh, that is so true. It's heartbreaking, really.
It is. Like in your native language, maybe you're the funny one or the one with all these deep, complex, philosophical takes.
I have a distinct voice.
Right. But then in a second language, because you're monitoring every single grammar rule so heavily just to avoid judgment, you end up just nodding and saying things like, yes, I agree.
You completely lose your spark.
You really do. You hide your true self.
You do. And bringing all this together really leads to this massive realization. Fluency isn't merely technical.
No, it's so much deeper than that.
It's profoundly emotional. There's this huge gap between, say, studying a language in a quiet, safe room and actually socially surviving in it out in the real world.
Which makes so much sense.
Right. Your hesitation is not a failure of knowledge. It's honestly just an emotional reaction to feeling exposed.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Basically, struggling to reply quickly is just a natural mix of cognitive overload and emotional pressure.
You definitely aren't failing. Your brain is just juggling way too much at once.
Which leaves you with something super interesting to ponder today.
Definitely. If fluency is largely emotional, how much of your hesitation is actually just your brain trying to protect you from social awkwardness?
That is such a huge question.
Right. So the next time you freeze, ask yourself if you're really missing the vocabulary or if you're just afraid of how you'll sound.
It's a completely different way to look at it. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep practicing, be kind to your brain, and we'll catch you next time.
See you next time.